Sometimes, in inopportune conditions, we need to perform at our finest. The will beats the skill. Now is a time period where we all are coming together to perform at our finest, to show the world where we're headed into the future by taking ownership of our reality, by taking ownership of our everyday lives. In the past few days, a lot of people are coming together. They're becoming awake and aware, and they're saying that something just isn't right. And we're about 24 hours away from a devastation, Hurricane Milton, coming in contact with Florida. And a lot of people, I shared this yesterday, they could see that this path is not so normal. And in yesterday's lesson, as I shared, 9 years ago on CBS, they said that they have lasers that can control the weather and stop the storm. Yet the storm still hasn't stopped. Today, we the people will be able to stop the storm. We have a very powerful lesson today, and we're going to be a call to action. The very powerful remote viewers and healers that are you out there? Are you out there? I know you're here. So many people, maybe 144,000 people will join in today. I'm going to teach you what makes a hurricane strong. We're going to be really seeing the merge of science and spirituality play out in this very lesson today. And how we could channel our inner Lieutenant Dan. So it's a very powerful day. It's a very powerful message. There's so many people that are here. If you're new to the channel, I'm Michael. I discuss the Ascension Journey, and I make it relevant for everyday life people. And this Ascension Journey, we are rising up to a higher plane of existence and embodying a higher version of ourself. In order to walk the walk, you're going to have to practice what you preach. Today, we're going to practice what we preach. There are many people that are getting this message that have spiritual abilities, energetic abilities. Is that you? You could hit the starburst in the chat if that's you tuned in right now. And please share this message today so that we can get more and more people to shut it down. And 1,000 people could write it in the comment section. It's time to shut it down. Shut it down. We have to have crystal clear direction. And you have to know the ins and outs of things. And some people don't know this. I always talk about collaboration, and that's what we're doing here today. And I might have certain gifts and abilities and knowledge to share, and you might have different abilities and different things. And we all come together. We're the rainbow warriors of the Hopi prophecy. And the Hopi spoke about this land. We have to protect this land. So important, light warriors. So important. And it's an important day today. I could sense and feel, and as I was discussing in yesterday's lesson, the anxiety that so many people have, and I'm feeling it as well. It really is. Yesterday was very gloomy. Right now, it's literally the calm before the storm, and we have a last chance opportunity. You might be getting this message and you've been seeing wrong things done to humanity. It's our last stand. I shared the energy theme that God has given several days ago. This is the last stand. And you could write it in the comments. This is the last stand. You're going to have to reach a place where you say enough is enough. And God gives us a test. Before our very eyes right now is a test. And sometimes we have to have this test to understand our innate abilities, the abilities that we have, the ability to shut down this storm. We could see that you know, the big companies and governments and all these things, they're not stepping in to help the people out. Once you know they have the ability, could shut down in a second. Well, guess what? We, the people, have to do it ourselves. Today, I'm going to teach you, all you spiritual warriors, all you very, very highly energetic individuals out there, I'm going to teach you how to shut down this hurricane. In order to understand how to shut down a hurricane, you have to know where the source of the energy of the hurricane lies. What makes a hurricane so powerful? And the answer is the hot towers. In the hurricane, as we reach the eye wall, there are clouds. They are called hot towers. And these hot towers get rapidly thrusted high into the stratosphere. So it pierces a higher layer of the atmosphere. And these hot towers that go so high up into the sky, they fuel the hurricane as it's in the stratosphere. And if these naturally in the world, it's called wind shear. Do you know about wind shear? Wind shear could shave off the top of the hurricane. In order to weaken a hurricane, you must remove the hot towers. So those high clouds that are at the top of the hurricane, it's by the eye wall, and it gets thrusted up into the stratosphere. Those clouds need to be sheared off, if you will. As you all are focusing your energy, and I know there's many remote viewers out there, you need to focus on shearing off the top of the hurricane, and by doing so, you remove the hot towers. It loses energy. We are going from 5 down to 1, and everyone could write it in the comments. We are going from 5 down to 1. Michelle Thompson, thank you so much for the support. Praying for you and all my brothers and sisters in the South. I appreciate you, Michelle. Thank you so much for that. So when we are focused, and we could, did I miss someone? I'm sorry. When we are focused and we have awareness, I've shared this so many times. Awareness is the precursor to change. Sherry, thank you so much. Thanks and love. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate you, Sherry. Awareness is the precursor to change. So you might be a highly intuitive individual. You might be a person that is able to, use the energy for the good of humanity. You know how to do these things, right? Some of us don't know how to do it. But what we need to do is raise awareness. So for those people that are tuned in, that are doing the praying, that are doing the energy work, you have to go into those hot towers. You have to shear off the top. That's where the energy, that's where it's getting all its energy from the hot towers at the top of the hurricane. And then we shear off the top of the hurricane. We remove the hot towers. And then it starts to lose its energy. And then it starts to fall apart. And then it goes from 5 down to 1. No weapon formed against us will prosper. We are the ones to shut it down. Sometimes, and this has been the last few years. This has been my life's journey. This might have been your life's journey. And this is how we have to live our everyday lives. We can't rely on other people trying to save us. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. And at this moment in time, we're going to have to practice what we preach, and we all could focus our energy and ask for Almighty God and the hand of God to move and remove the top of the hurricane, remove those hot towers, remove those clouds that are piercing into the stratosphere. And all of a sudden, the hurricane begins to weaken. And all of a sudden, 5 becomes 1. And all of a sudden, 5 becomes 1. And all of a sudden, 5 becomes 1. You, like myself, you might have, witnessed and dealt with all these trauma-causing events over what's been going on over the past few years? Does anyone know? So many things have been going on. But we have to take ownership. And that's what, once you start to know the ins and outs of the hurricane, those hot, and as some of you know, the eye of the storm, it's forcing rapidly that cloud to go all the way up high. If you think of potential energy, right? We're getting back to the basics. The higher that cloud is, it's going to actually fuel the hurricane more. We have to shear off. Wind shear can shear off a hurricane. We got to get the wind shear to shear off the top of the cloud. Alenka, thank you so much. Alenka, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much for that, Alenka. At this time, it is a good time to channel your inner Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan! Some of you have seen the movie Forrest Gump. So I'm giving you a teachable thing to kind of focus on. Some of you remember the scene of Forrest Gump. Lieutenant Dan. He was out in the storm. He was on the boat. He was on the ship. And he was sitting up on top of the mast. And the storm was blasting the boat. And it looked like it was this boat was going to get destroyed. It was just a boat floating in the middle of a storm. And Lieutenant Dan said, "You will not sink this boat." And he was screaming. It looked a little crazy. It didn't look so promising. It didn't look so promising. But you have to get that inexhaustible belief in yourself. And you have to be in that mindset that you could take on the entire world. He said, "You will not sink this boat." And you have to channel your inner Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan. So I hope that helps you to really focus and channel your energy that we all possess. Nothing can stop us. We have the ability. We have the God-given abilities, the God-given rights to live in peace. And when you start to see, with those with eyes to see, when you see wrongness being done to the people, you're going to have to stand up. You're going to have to sit on top of the mast, just like Lieutenant Dan, and say, "No matter what, I'm not going to budge. No matter what, I'm not going to budge." And we shut that storm down so we can help our people, because it's up to we the people. You could write that in the comments as well. We the people. It's about we the people. Oded, I love you, brother. Thank you forever, Braveheart brother. I love you, Oded, till the end of the line. We got this. Till the end of the line. This is our last stand. There has to get a point in your life. Now is that point. Now is that time where you say enough is enough. You have to speak it into the world. We are not going to tolerate it any longer. Especially when the people can be saved and we shut it down. And this is a test to see if we can focus. Sometimes I talk about laser pinpoint accuracy. Laser pinpoint accuracy. Lion Teach, I love you very much. 144. I love you, Lion Teach. Focus and don't let fear take your power. We can do this. It's all going to take us all doing our part. Sending the vibes to shut it down. I love you very much, Lion Teach. Everyone, you could write it in the comments. You could write it in the chat. Shut it down. Just keep writing it. Shut it down. Shut it down. Because we have the power of intent to shut it down. And God has the ability to shut it down. But some people don't call out to God because you're going to have to speak it. And I ask Almighty God to shut it down for our people. You might have stumbled across this message and you said, I want a chance. I want to have an opportunity to be a spiritual warrior. Is that you? Maybe you're new to this. Now's your chance, kid. Shut it down. Focus on that. Everyone. if we get everyone to focus on that storm and dissipate that storm, and we watch it go from 5 down to 1. We watch it go from 5 down to 1. We weaken that storm. That's legacy. Sometimes, it doesn't look so great. You're like Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan's sitting up on the mast. If you've never seen that scene, you got to look it up. Lieutenant Dan sitting on top of the mast. The storm is blasting the boat. You will not sink this boat. That's where you have to stay focused on right now. 5 down to 1. And the world needs to see. The world needs to see. I told you, this year, God is revealing the truth of you. Teachers teach, leaders lead, commanders command. You have to know thyself at this time. You have to know the power that you have and use it for the good of humanity. You're going to get to that place. You're going to get to that place. And that's the pressure that's on. It's a beautiful pressure. Under a lot of pressure, it forms a beautiful diamond. That's what we're all going through collectively right now. This is like a group project, right? It's like a group project. Yeah. No, I have a friend right now. He's right in the very line of fire. The Danny. He's in Sarasota, and he's got his house all shuttered up. He's with his kids, his wife. These are the untold stories of everyday life people. Everyday life people. And there's really what can you do? But what we can do, and not just there's people out there that might gaslight this. Do you know those people? We don't care here on this channel. We're here to take over. We're here to do the work. Some people talk about it and others be about it. And when I put my head on a pillow at night, I know I beat about it. I don't know if that's a word, but you got to be about it. Don't talk about it, be about it. Smash the like button if that resonates with you. Today, we have an opportunity. We have to look at this as an opportunity to show the world that we have a say, that we have the abilities. We can move it away. We can dissipate it. Move it away and dissipate it. Now, Dolores Cannon. I always speak about Dolores Cannon. Okay? And she talked about this time period. And she talked about the pockets of the new earth. The pockets of the 5D. There are pockets spread around this area and all over the world. Now, those pockets need to be protected at all times with everything. It's very interesting when you look at the words of Dolores Cannon. She has not been alive for many years. And it literally speaks, it reads like a book about this time period. So there are pockets, these pockets of the new earth. Some of you do grid work. Is that you? You do the grid work? You've been doing the grid work, I know. I know. A lot of the divine feminines are out there doing the grid work. There they go. Clearing the area. I shared about this on the channel page from the summer. You gotta focus on the grid. These are not spiritual woo-woo things. This is part of everyday life now. Today we see it play out. Spiritual warfare, the unseen battle, is now crystal clear. I'm watching, and there's nothing I can do. I can't fly up like Superman and shut it down. But what we need to do is know, we stay in our lane, we know our abilities, we know what we can do, and we actually do it. Because the matrix, the world, that's why they want to gaslight you. That's why they want to shame you. Because then you don't speak. You got to speak. You got to listen to these words today. You got to know the word. Just like I know the ins and outs of a hurricane, I got to know the ins and outs of the laws of the universe. And you got to know the law of free will. You got to know it. We don't consent to this hurricane. Hannah, I love you, Hannah. I love you so much. 5 down to none. Send your loving, hugging energies to the clouds above. Imagine how you hug each cloud till it is gone with your loving and calming power. I love you very much, Hannah. I love you. Ohio, heart of the USA. Wind, go where God sends you and bless your people. I appreciate you, Ohio, heart. Yeah. We have to look at today as an opportunity for greatness, an opportunity to show the world. Don't you want to know? I've asked that question. That's how I live my. What are we living for? You know, I've shared the meaning of life on this channel. Isn't that a great chat? Why don't you hit the subscribe button to this channel? Right? You learn the meaning of life on this channel. It's actually not hard. It's not hard. It's such a different. What's the meaning of life? It's to live a life of meaning. The purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. And a man of principle, a woman of principle, cannot be moved. Holly Ray, I appreciate you. Holly Ray Crystal Shop. We, the people, must come together, shut it down, save America, love you. I love you, Harley Ray. Support our small businesses. I get the organic sage from Harley Ray Crystal Shop. I love you, Harley Ray. I love you so much. So support your brothers and sisters. We'll share out her link in the live chat too, in the comment section. We have to think about our brothers and sisters right now. That's where the focus has to be. Otherwise, what the heck are we doing? Those that are on the channel, I refer to the superheroes. I love the superheroes. And I talk about Thor and the day of Ragnarok. The day of Ragnarok is here. And in that lesson, Asgard, right? Asgard. Asgard is not a place. It's a people. It's about we, the people. Write it down. We, the people. Share this message so that other people, maybe you are a person that, you're conscious and aware, you do the spiritual work, and maybe you're a person, you want an opportunity. I want to participate. Today's your day. Today's the time to shine. Sometimes in inopportune conditions, we need to perform at our finest. We can look across at the demon coming across the gulf, and we could shut it down. And this is the opportunity that God has given us. Over the course of my everyday life, I've been given hardships and things, and I for some reason, it wasn't so like it should have been scary. And I heard the word of God, and it said, this is a test. This is something that was given to you so that you could overcome it, so that you could show to other people that it can be overcome. And if we could shut 5 down to 1, then people around the world could see this and know it's possible. Anything is possible. Michael Dowden, thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. So I hope you learned a little bit about the hurricane today. For all my former students that are still watching, Mr. D is still going, kid. Still going. But here we are. What a interesting journey it's been. We are who we are. We're at the doorstep right now. We have an opportunity before us. Let's all concentrate, focused on weakening the storm, our brothers and sisters that are on the West Coast. And it's about we the people. It's really about we the people. And there is a motivation that is Beyond motivated, driven is what I've shared. Beyond motivated, driven. So when you see this and you feel that superhero power that comes up inside of you, each and every one of us have the ability to shut it down. You can't worry about, oh, this thing is going to come and then they fix everything. There's no point in damaging people's homes and stuff. Shut it down so it never happens. Change the timeline so it never happens. We have an opportunity. Don't allow opportunities to pass you by. And so it is. If you find this message interesting and you would like to learn more about our reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, why don't you click subscribe, give the video a like so it becomes visible to more people, and please share with one other person, because when we all share with one other person, we will rapidly grow our 5D community. The band is back together. I am the defender of our everyday lives. No matter what comes your way, light warriors, just keep going. We have to live our lives that way now. We have to live them that way. And don't turn back. There is no turning back. Once you have realized there is nothing left, you will fight. The seed of Christ is inside of each and every one of us. The royal family is here. Now we have an opportunity to do what we came here to do. We need real life evidence. We'll see it. Know the time period. Let's all focus together. All we could do is keep going, put our best foot forward, believe it, and it will happen. Don't fall for the fear. Don't fall for it. I appreciate each and every one of you. We have Facebook, TikTok, Patreon. There'll be a brand new, we had a tremendous live stream last night that will be up on Patreon by the end of the day. And check out our TikTok. I'll be going live there. More posts on Facebook. We all collaborate on Facebook as well. And it's really great to see everyone's posts. A lot of people are conscious and aware of what's really going on. So I appreciate our Facebook family as well. And everything that you can do for this video and the channel, which is clicking the like button and sharing, it all helps. Let's become the greatest version of ourselves. Let's take opportunities like this to become 1% better every single day, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Let's become the highest version of ourselves. Let's get on the highest timeline for our everyday lives. I love you all. Keep going, kid.